How to Achieve Your Dreams, Even When You Think It's Impossible, by me. And I'm Lillian Eve Moore. In this mini course, you are about to learn what it really takes to be confident, plus more on the upcoming webinar. In the last mini course, if you have already watched that, we talked about some things that you can do to boost your confidence in the moment. This is more about what it takes to be confident permanently, what it takes to be a confident person. We are also going to cover what you can do to move forward when you don't have confidence, and two of the most important practices for success. So confidence takes having a positive relationship with the world. That means, like my girl Gabrielle Bernstein says, knowing the universe has your back. Feeling connected to a higher power. This doesn't have to be a God, but just feeling connected to something bigger than yourself that is benevolent, that you could feel is supporting you. Orienting yourself towards gratitude. It's in yellow. That may or may not be a hint about one of the most important things for success. And it also takes having a positive relationship with yourself. So having a positive relationship with the outside world and having a positive relationship with yourself. So that means loving yourself unconditionally. Knowing your deepest parts, as I call them. You could also say being in touch with your soul. And being generous. Clue number 2. This is what's going to be covered during the webinar. So get the confidence by resolving the experiences that made you doubt your environment. So you have a painful experience and that makes you not trust that you are going to be taken care of. You know, your parents leave you at the grocery store and then you feel like you're going to be abandoned. You know, we all have little stories that impact our ability to trust the universe, and that impacts our confidence. Connecting with something larger than you. We're also going to be practicing being in touch with feeling supported by the universe, community, God, whatever it is for you. And it's also about switching your attention from what's not working to what is working. So in this technique that I'm going to teach you during the webinar, you'll actually get to experience choice between focusing on the negative or focusing on the positive in the real way. So this isn't about suppressing the negative, it's about acknowledging the negative and acknowledging the positive and choosing the positive, because that is what is going to give you more confidence. And we're going to be resolving the experiences that left you feeling ashamed, unloved, or unworthy. So that is what taught you to stop loving yourself or stop believing in yourself. We're going to create an opportunity for you to look deep inside yourself and connect to who you are. Sometimes this is really difficult to do just because we don't create the time and space for it. Or if we're having, anxiety or fear or depression or anger, that it's just not pleasant to be present to ourselves. We want to ignore it because it doesn't feel good. So the webinar is going to actually create an environment where you can get in touch with yourself and have it be a positive experience. It's also about being aware of what others are needing and offering your gifts. So during the webinar, we're also going to be talking a little bit about what it is that you have to offer and how building your ability to share that. So what can you do now before the webinar? Less thinking, more doing. So that's kind of, self-explanatory, but I think that this is something that is probably the most simple and easy thing to change in your life that will have the most impact. Simply taking more action, doing more. So then there's also the two most important things that I think are needed for success, and that is gratitude, feeling grateful, and being generous. I'm going to get more into that later. First, we're going to talk about taking action. So less thinking, more doing. These are some of the techniques that I use for myself to be more proactive and get out of my head. So writing instructions and just following the instructions. So instead of getting up in the morning, you think, oh, I don't really feel like doing that. Just have the night before, or maybe at the beginning of the week, you write down instructions for yourself. I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this. You write down what you're going to do and when you're going to do it, and then you follow it like you're putting together a bookcase. You just follow the instructions. You don't think about it, you just do it. If you are bad at something or you hate doing something, and that is stopping you from achieving your goals and moving forward in your dreams, just pay somebody else to do it. You do not need to be wasting your time on something that you hate doing and that you're not good at. There's somebody out there who's good at it and who likes doing it. So get them on your team. Get them to help you move that little obstacle out of the way. You can pay or barter. There's always a way to get it done. When you find yourself stopped by anxiety, doubt, or fear, go do something physical. Those emotions bring up adrenaline. And adrenaline, the best way to process adrenaline is physically, because adrenaline makes you want to fight or flight. It sends blood down into your limbs and away from your brain, so you're not going to be able to think as clearly until you get that moved through your system. So go for a run, do some jumping jacks, take your dog on a walk, whatever you need to do, but get out of your head, get physical, and then come back and get back to your instructions. Gratitude. Okay, so this is the most attractive force in the universe, and what I mean by that is experiencing gratitude draws what you're grateful for to you. So it attracts positive energy. It attracts positive influences into your life. So this is what I do to practice gratitude in my own life. I make a gratitude list. So just going on and on about everything that I'm grateful for. I do this periodically at night before I go to sleep. And it really helps me to focus on what's working in my life instead of what's not working. Before eating, sometimes I like to think about all of the hands that came to bring that food to my table. Thinking about the farmers, thinking about people who worked at the grocery store, all the hands that it passed through, people who paid who's buying the farmers' foods, the distributors, the farmers' parents, thinking about the plates, where the plates came from, every aspect of what is bringing that meal into my life and feeling grateful for it. It helps you kind of get in touch with how connected we are and how supported you really are. Look at the things in your room, in your house, and see how much of your belongings were gifts. It's always really surprising and touching to me to see, that my most treasured possessions are always gifts. My kitchen table was a wedding present. My musical instruments were all, birthday gifts from my parents or friends. And just looking around and seeing, it begins to show you how many people are in your life contributing to you. Scan your childhood for the good stuff. Oftentimes we focus on how traumatic our childhood was or how bad it was, but really every one of us has had opportunities that were really unique and beneficial that made us who we are today. So whatever it was, having a tree house, having piano lessons, your great aunt who told you stories about her travels, whatever it was, look through your past for things that you can be grateful for. Okay, generosity. Generosity gives you momentum for achievement. Generosity gives you a good feeling that makes you want to do more. So networking for people is a really great way to be generous, introducing people that can help each other and introducing them in ways that make them look good. This is really a generous thing to do, and it's also a good thing to do for your business if you own your own business or if you're trying to move up in your career. Pick up trash from a park or wherever. Cleaning up your environment, cleaning up your space is a really powerful way to feel good about yourself, because you're more impacted than you realize by your environment, and it's a way to connect with your environment, and what I mean by environment is I mean like the world, not just nature, but it's a way to connect and see that you are supported and you have the ability to support the world around you. Listen when people speak. So how many of you can have the experience of asking somebody what their name is and immediately after you ask them, you stop listening and you don't hear what they say. This happens to us because we focus more on what we're thinking about what they're saying than we are on what they're saying. So they're talking away and we're thinking, I agree with that, I disagree with that, what am I going to say next? Instead of hearing and really getting their world. I think one of the most generous things you can do is really get somebody else's world, get their experience of life. Go the extra mile. So anytime that you put that extra energy into something, it doesn't even matter what it is, putting your life force, putting your extra energy into an activity or a project, that is generous. You are taking something valuable from inside of yourself and putting it out into the world for somebody else to appreciate it. That is being generous, and that is going to give you momentum. So the webinar details. It's happening October 27th, 9 o'clock to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You are going to be understanding how you lost your confidence and how to get it back. You're going to learn an incredible technique to resolve experiences that zapped your confidence in the first place. You're going to actually resolve at least one of these experiences. And you're going to get your questions answered live with a Q&A. So register below and please comment. I love hearing your comments, and have a great day.